Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Stream Squad. I'm film critic Tony Toscano in Salt Lake City.
And I'm film critic Jeffrey K. Howard in Las Vegas. Tony, it's October, it's Halloween. Hey, it's our favorite time of the year. And what a way to kick off this week's show with a real thriller. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, we have the Devil's Workshop coming up. This is better than any candy corn you can possibly want in your trick-or-treat bag. Emile Hirsch plays an actor who makes a deal with the devil for a really important role.
The director really liked you, man. They want you back in for a callback on Monday.
Yes!
I need this role.
I saw your ad on the internet about the demonologist. I need you to trust me. There can be no lies, or the ritual will have very little chance of success. Ritual.
Do you enjoy scary films?
I do. I love good horror movies and scary movies. My first foray into them was with that film, The Autopsy of Jane Doe with Brian Cox, which, you know, it was super well received. People really loved it. And it really got me excited about the genre and what the genre could do. And there's another film I shot called The Price We Pay with Stephen Dorff, which comes out next year. So I got another horror coming. And I just, you know, it's a genre that, you know, it can kind of excite the imagination, you know, and terrify and, you know, release all kinds of chemical endorphins that people don't normally, you know, have. And this character, this guy, Donald, he's an actor. So I sort of thought it would be fun to play like the worst version of an actor. You know what I mean? And I had to do surprisingly little research on the part because I've been acting for almost my whole life. You know what I mean? I'm 37. I mean, I was acting when I was 10 or 9. It was like 27, 28 years now. So I didn't base it on any one person. It was just like easy to play. I don't know. It was like being an annoying actor. It's like, oh yeah, okay. You know, it wasn't like you didn't have to do any research. Every actor can do that if they've been doing it long enough, you know, and if they've met enough actors in enough audition rooms, you know. But there was something fun about sending up the job a little bit, about ridiculing the profession. You know, acting is something where people like actors, but you know, if you piss any regular person off and you're an actor, they're gonna be like, you're just a fake actor piece of, you know what I mean? Like they'll unload on you for being an actor. So there's clearly like some animus there. You know what I mean? It's not like this like holier than thou profession. You're still just like a freaking actor, right? Yeah. So the idea of playing the kind of the worst of the worst was, and you know, really kind of like feeding the public like the red meat of like, this is the worst actor. This is what we're all like, you know. I mean, there was something really funny about that. And you know, in a way, the character is so funny because he's so detestable. You know, he's so awful in like every way that it's just funny. It's funny, you know. It's like every single petty way he's all of it. And
he truly is one of the most annoying characters you've ever played.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's terrible. You know, he's like berating these women in the scene and pushing them to answer all these awful, uncomfortable family questions, all for the sake of maybe getting the job. He doesn't even have the job. He's like just a callback.
I've been waiting for you my whole life.
Jeff, The Devil's Workshop is streaming on all video-on-demand platforms. Like I said, it's creepy as hell, and one of those that you're just going to munch some popcorn when you watch it. Tell me a little bit about Monster High, the movie.
Well, this is from Nickelodeon. It's a musical, and when Claudine begins attending Monster High, she discovers a devious plot that only not destroy her school, Tony, but also reveal her half-human, half-werewolf identity.
Welcome to Monster High.
Oh shoot, I'm late! Name's Frankie, pronouns they, them. Claudine, she, her. There's also that. How can you tell if they're home? Maybe we knock. Never knock on a closed coffin. I spent my life in the shadows. Here we are, school. This is so cool, Frankie.
Who can tell me what the greatest threat to monster kind is?
Humans.
Strange girl.
So Claudine is a half human, half werewolf, and Monster High has a very strict no human policy. So this is a huge part of her journey. I mean, she's starting her first year of high school, and that is already hard enough as it is, as we all know. And then to add hiding part of your identity as part of that journey only overcomplicates it. But along the way, she meets Draculaura and Frankie, and they really, really help her come to accept herself and realize that her true authentic self is the best version of herself.
Yes, Draculaura is a full-blown vampire. She is the daughter of Dracula, who, you know him. He does not like the sun or garlic as well. So she is 1,500 years old, and going to school, she's people see her as Dracula's daughter, so she's kind of held to a high esteem, and there are many expectations for her. So when she goes to school and she starts practicing witchcraft, which is definitely not okay in the monster world because it's considered a human practice, she has to hide that part of her. But then she finds Claudine and Frankie, and she's like, oh, they accept me for who I am. And she learns about this new part of her and grows a beautiful friendship in the process.
Take me through a typical day of getting into makeup, because it's just extraordinary.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Our makeup artist, Leah, who is our makeup head, and Gila Boyce, who did my makeup every day, we grew very close because it's about when we started, it was about a 4-hour process that we squeezed down into about 2.5 hours. You start with a face paint, and then they go ahead and spray you with this in like airbrush bottles, basically. They spray all that color onto you, and then there's the rest of the face makeup that goes on top of that, and then there's contacts, and then a wig, and you just kind of sitting in a chair for 4 hours is really intense. But afterwards, it feels like there's basically nothing on you because it's like totally dries off. And we could like wash our hands and walk around, and it stayed on the whole time. It rained a couple days and we were still really fine. It was absolutely crazy. I talked to my cosplay friend about it recently, and I was like, how do you do it? How do you do paint all day for this long? And they were like, I don't know what you're talking about. I take it off. Like as soon as I'm done, I take it off. And I was like, you've never worn it for like 14 hours before? And they were like, 14 hours? And I was like, yeah, I know, it's really, we were in it for a long time. And the touch-ups, like I think it looks amazing on camera. Like our artist did such a good job.
Well, ladies, congratulations on a wonderful musical. And I know it's gonna be a big hit on Nickelodeon and on Paramount Plus. And thank you so much for joining me this morning, and let's talk again soon. Now, Monster High, the movie, is now on Nickelodeon, so make sure you check your local times. It is a Halloween-orific musical, Tony. You're going to love it. When Stream Squad returns, we're going to keep with the Halloween theme for the new thriller from Blumhouse Studios. It's called The Visitor. Don't go away.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Stream Squad. I'm film critic Tony Toscano. I'm joined by Jeff Howard in Las Vegas. And Jeff, tell me a little bit about this new horror thriller, The Visitor.
Well, when Robert and his wife move into her childhood home, he discovers an old portrait in the attic of a man who looks just like him. He soon travels down a frightening rabbit hole as he discovers his true identity.
Robert, I know you're new to these parts, but I speak for everyone when I say you already feel like one of us.
That's not for sale.
I was just hoping you might be able to give me some more information about it.
You think you want answers? You're wrong.
Well, your character Robert and his wife are living a new life in her childhood hometown, but they've seen tragedy in their lives, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they've just recently lost a child, and so they kind of show up into this world, grieving and kind of unsure about where they are at personally in their relationships. I think they're being tested on all fronts, which was kind of interesting to play. You know, it's like there was always throughout the movie there were all these like points of tension between like whether it was my relationship to my own mind or my own perception of reality, or with my relationship with my wife, losing a child. Like all of this stuff I think really helped make the movie a lot more deeper than, say, your average horror movie.
Well, you know, Robert's a long way from home. You know, he's in Briar Glen. London's a long way from there, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's about as far away as you can get. Like the Deep South is not like anything in the UK, that's for sure.
And tell me about the painting he finds in the attic.
Yeah, so that's a kind of creepy one. He kind of like, in the beginning of the movie, he has this kind of like call in this drawer to go and check out the attic. You know, almost like there's this kind of like supernatural inner force that's kind of like forcing him, pulling him towards it. And he heads up to the attic and he finds a painting of someone that looks really similar to him. And he starts to question, you know, what is this? Where did this come from? Why does it look like me? And, you know, he brings it up to his wife, Maya, and Maya essentially gaslights him and tells him that he's being ridiculous and stupid. And I think because his mental state is a bit fragile, he tends to kind of think, oh yeah, maybe it is just me. Maybe I'm the one that's just kind of a bit nuts here.
Yeah, because Robert suffers from anxiety. So I love in this movie that you think that all the weird things that are happening, they could be in his head. I mean, we don't know if he's suffering from it or these things are really happening to him.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's really one of the things that drew me to the movie, is that it had this kind of much more deeper cerebral take on a typical horror movie, genre movie. You know, it was a little bit more deeper, and also as a performer, like it kind of makes the performance way more interesting because you're really kind of, you know, putting yourself in a very authentic situation.
Yeah, and the house is a character too. Where did they find it? I mean, it was just brilliant.
Yeah, it's a beautiful house, man. It's absolutely beautiful. So that was on, I think it's called King Charles Street, which is in New Orleans. And St. Charles. And St. Charles is like a street in New Orleans where you have like lots of like really, really grand and big houses. And that was one of the houses, and it was beautiful to film in there.
Yeah, and I love the sound that's in this movie. The creaking doors, the floorboards every time you walk. The director really gave you like maybe 5-minute sequences where you're just walking with this ambient sound that really just creeps you out.
Yeah, and you know what? You know, Justin's such an amazing director, and even though this movie does have a really interesting pace to it, like it never at one moment feels boring. Like you're always constantly trying to figure out what's going on. And so even though at times like it's slow and it is kind of like pacey, like you said, your mind as an audience member is always just trying to be like, what is going on? Like what's around the corner? Who are these people? Is Robert making this up? Is he correct? Like what's this painting? You know, and so at least for me as an audience member, I really enjoyed that kind of element to it.
Now, The Visitor is on the Epix Network, Tony. It's from Blumhouse Studios, who never disappoint. Fantastic thriller, just in time for Halloween. And for our next thriller, take us away, Tony. We're heading to New Orleans, the Big Easy.
Yeah, we have a Halloween thriller starring Kate Hudson, who plays a woman of the night who runs into an escaped mental patient. And that's where the fun begins.
Attention all New Orleans units, stand by for broadcast. We are looking for a Violet 103M, escaped from the home of mentally insane adolescents. She is described as an Asian female, brown hair, brown eyes, and she is considered dangerous. Use extreme caution. Over.
Copy. Lucky me.
Yo, where your friends at? Was this little old you? All alone in this big bad world?
Dude.
You okay? You don't sound like you're from around here. I mean, you live in New Orleans?
During Halloween, everybody's going, what can I watch? And it's either watching a remake of something or something else. This is a brand new horror movie, and it's just thrilling.
It is, right? It's a brand new supernatural freak movie. I love that.
Yeah, and I think it just says a lot about, you know, finding yourself really, you know, underneath everything else. Yeah. Kate, tell me about your character, Bonnie.
Bonnie is a survivor. She's a mother to her son. She does her best to keep food on the table and to make sure that he's provided for, albeit not necessarily being the most present mother. But I think Bonnie is very confident in herself. She lives moment to moment, day to day, and she, in her mind, for her, she has really won in her life. She could be in a lot of worse off places, and she feels like she's winning. And Anna Lily said something too earlier, which is like, I agree, you know, she's a shark. I mean, that's sharks hunt at night, you know, they come out and they hunt not only in the night, but Bonnie likes to hunt in the night. But you know, they're constantly moving, and they're always hunting. And I think that's who Bonnie is. When she sees an opportunity that benefits her, she's gonna jump on it. And so it's really fun to play such an uninhibited character.
Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon is streaming on all video on demand platforms. And Jeff, you know this as well as I do. This is a creepy, creepy, creepy film.
And also, when we come back on the Stream Squad, Tony, me and you are coming from the red carpet at Universal Studios Hollywood for the annual Halloween Horror Nights. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Stream Squad. It's our Halloween episode. I'm Jeffrey K. Howard in Las Vegas, joined by my buddy Tony Toscano in Salt Lake City. Happy Halloween, Tony. Where are we going next? Hollywood Horror, right?
Right, Hollywood Horror Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood. You and I hit the red carpet for Stream Squad as we talk to the stars.
It kind of marks the beginning of the Halloween season, which is, of course, my favorite season. And it's just become something that's very, very classic and very iconic. I truly believe we need a good scare. It is the same as a laugh. It is something, we all have fear, and fear is so uncomfortable, we stuff it down. Halloween is a time, horror films are a time to celebrate the fact that fear is human. And that we need it, and we can do it in a fun, safe, but scary way. And that's, of course, what the Halloween Horror Nights is about here.
What I like are the people. What I like are those people right up there. The people who have supported this movie, this character, for 44 years. It's hard to imagine that man up there has been alive 44 years, but it is a generational family movie. The scare has kind of been passed on from generation to generation, and the fans are the reason we make these movies. The fans are the reason these movies are successful, and the fans are the reason I have a career.
I started in the original Halloween when I was 7 years old, and here I am all these years later. You know, I feel really honored and blessed to be part of something that, you know, the fans love so much, and to have the relationship I have with Jamie all of these years is really special to me.
You know, this is the studio that invented and created the classic monster. So who better to celebrate Halloween? I always love what they come up with. You know, John Murdy is super creative in his team, and we've collaborated with him on a lot of mazes. So it's always fun. And you know, something about horror fans, and especially makeup effects artists that love this, is to have a chance to have something that's so immersive. It's one thing to see it on the screen, but to walk into it.
Horror fans are very rabid about the things that they love, and they love Halloween Horror Nights. And I'm engaged with them year-round on social media. And even, you know, after the event ends every year, there's like, it's almost like people go into depression. It's like, oh, it's over. But that's what I love about the genre of horror, is that the fans are so knowledgeable, passionate, and they've been so loyal to our event over the years. We greatly appreciate it.
Jamie's not only an amazing actress, but a great producer. She found an incredible story, which we just read the script of a week ago, which is amazing. So we've worked together. We have 6 or 7 things that we're working on together in all different capacities, and she's a great partner that the business is very lucky to have.
That is so awesome.
It's a mutual admiration society because the truth of the matter is I like to work for people whose names are on the door. You see, the name of the company is his name. So you know when you're dealing with someone, you're going to get a definitive answer directly from there. It doesn't have to go through people, you go right to him. And I have felt like from the beginning of the Halloween experience, he led.
Tony, Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studio Hollywood is just one of our best times that we have every year. So I had a fantastic year with so many great houses.
Yeah, and Jamie Lee Curtis and Jason Blum, everybody was great. And there's more to come, by the way, on the Stream Squad after the break. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Stream Squad. Now, if you're looking for past episodes of our show, check out our YouTube channel, and also we're on social media, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Jeff?
And next week, Tony, things are going to get weird around here as we go behind the scenes with the cast and crew of the Weird Al Yankovic Story.
And the Stream Squad will be back next week. Everybody take care and have a great Halloween.
Oh, my little hungry one, open up a package of my banana.